Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with oven grilled parsnips. That's right, I had some grilled parsnips a while back and I really enjoyed them. So I wanted to try to simulate that beautiful charred edge caramelization in the oven. And it actually worked out very well. And I know a lot of you are thinking, I like mine just boiled and mashed plain with hardly any seasoning. Well, I realize that is incredibly delicious, but this is even better. So here we go. Step one, we're going to need some parsnips. And there's mine. I have 5. They're all clearly suffering from the subterranean homesick blues. You know, you really don't get enough Dylan references in today's recipe videos. But anyway, I got about 2 pounds of parsnips. We're going to go ahead and peel those, of course. And I realize a lot of people roast these with the skin on, which I don't like. I think it's too bitter. But suit yourself. All right, when it comes to the roots, the game theory is up to you. So once those are peeled, we're going to go ahead and cut off the top, cut off the tip. So that bottom half, because it tapers down and is much smaller, we're going to go ahead and cut that in half. So there's 2 pieces. And then to sort of simulate the same shape and size with the top, we're going to cut that in half. And if we turn that like that and just cut that in 3 pieces, everything should be similarly shaped and sized. And of course, it's never going to be perfect, so don't try to make it perfect. You just drive yourself crazy. And then your family will have to explain to people that you went crazy over parsnips. That's not a great story. So just relax, cut them up. And then once we have all those cut, we're going to simply throw them in a bowl and squeeze over lemon juice. So I squeezed in 1 very juicy lemon, and it's the lemon juice along with the very hot oven that's going to kind of simulate that grilled effect on the parsnips. So we're going to squeeze in some lemon juice. We're also going to give it a nice dousing of olive oil, and then we will generously season this up with some freshly ground black pepper, some kosher salt, and some Aleppo pepper. And yes, it's kind of a new ingredient around here. You can read about that on the blog. Really nice pepper. Sorry, cayenne, I still love you. And then we're going to give all that a toss very thoroughly. And what I like to do is I like to give it a toss, let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes, give it another toss, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then give it another toss, because we got a lot of dressing in there. And part of it was I had a really juicy lemon, but that's okay. So I want to give it time to soak in. So I'll toss mine a couple times. And once you've tossed the parsnips, you're going to go ahead and put those on a lined baking sheet. I'm using a baking mat, but you could use foil. It works. And once you space those out evenly, those are going to go in a very hot preheated oven. We're going to go 450 degrees. We'll go for 15 minutes. And at that point, we'll pull it out, give them a flip. And even though it doesn't look like they're doing much yet, they are softening, getting tender. And what's going to happen, we're going to put them back in for another 15 to 20 minutes. And that's where all the magic caramelization is going to happen. And by the way, if you're playing the kick the tripod drinking game, you got to do a shot. Okay, so they go back in 15 or 20 minutes, and they're going to look like this, hopefully. Those sugars and starches in the parsnips, along with the lemon juice, are going to help these caramelize. And they're going to get those little charred edges that look just like they came off a grill. I think it looks really cool. And while these are still warm, I'm going to give them just a little extra salt. So I'm going to give those a toss. And I believe those would be ready to enjoy. I originally intended for this to be a vegetable side dish video. But after they came out, they looked so beautiful and caramelized and gorgeous, I decided to turn it into a parsnip-based snack food. So I'm going to serve these just like fries with a dip. So I'm going to pile those on a platter. That is just a very simple anchovy and parsley aioli. Yes, of course I will show you that. So easy. So let me grab one of these beauties and dip it in. And instead of watching the plate, I was actually looking in the viewfinder. So I couldn't quite find the mark. But eventually, there we go. And that really, really was delicious. Parsnips are kind of a cross between a carrot and a potato with a little bit of that anisette fennel kind of background flavor. Some people find the texture too fibrous. Doesn't bother me at all. And by the way, fair warning, that lemon juice on the outside will actually make those fibers a little tougher. It's a chemistry thing. But like I said, it doesn't bother me. The surface will have a little bit of a bite to it, but the inside should be soft. It should be tender, sweet, succulent, and very, very delicious. Who knows? These could replace French fries in your diet. There's a chance. So if you've never thought about making parsnips as a dippable party food, this oven-grilled version could give you a reason. So I really do hope you give these a try. Head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.